once again. Talking severe weather and flash flooding overnight. Sending things out to social media, then we'll get started. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching, I don't think we're going to have a ton of people tonight. We shall see. It has been a pretty wild day of weather across the Bluegrass, and that will continue early on this Sunday morning. Let's go ahead and take it. Alright, getting the music adjusted. Here it's a little loud. Thank you for my lovely wife, my technical producer. She is amazing. Quick sip of Diet Mountain Dew and let's get started. Alright, welcome in. Good Sunday morning on the Eastern Time Zone. Friends in Western Kentucky in the Central Time Zone, good night. We've got about 24 minutes till y'all join us on this Sunday, but it is a very busy day of weather across the entirety of Kentucky. We are seeing a flooding event like I've never seen in the state ongoing right now. In fact, I'm playing the broader view of the radar right now to kind of give a scope of this. I have never seen this many flood warnings in Kentucky at one given time before. This is kind of incredible and honestly a little frightening all at the same time. We have almost every county in the state of Kentucky right now under some kind of flood warning. Governor Beshear has requested a federal disaster declaration. We'll see if that gets approved. I'm very hopeful that will happen quickly so we can open up some federal funds. But yeah, so let's talk about what's going on right now. Heavy rain is falling between Bowling Green and Somerset, extending upwards northeast to Lexington and Maysville, excuse me. We are seeing gusty winds with these thunderstorms, but thankfully the severe component looks to be very limited. And that is a good thing. We are happy that we're seeing limited severe weather, but still considerable heavy rain falling along this line of thunderstorms from Glasgow up to Lexington, Flemingsburg, Paris, and Maysville, and then extending up into southern Ohio. And it is still pushing its way to the east into an area that does not need more rain. I saw just a little while ago over on Ryan Hall's stream, they are closing the floodgates in Pikeville. I have seen weather service reports that Harlan has requested mutual aid for swift water rescue from Corbin and London. Multiple water rescues are ongoing in Harlan County as we speak, including a water rescue involving a car in the river along River Street. Um, every department in Harlan County is currently dispatched on some kind of water rescue, which is just insane. That is a lot of ongoing rescues across Harlan County, and unfortunately, we have more rain heading in that direction in a few hours. So let me know in the comments where you're joining from. Hit the like and the share button. I don't know how late we're going to be up on this one for folks. This one we'll just have to wait and see. Part of that's also going to be how well Eli does. But we have got heavy rain pushing into an area that doesn't need it. In fact, I'm going to pull up something I've been working on this, trying to get it to work. This is a look at the local rivers. And anywhere you see purple, there is major flooding ongoing. So the Cumberland River at Baxter right now is at major flood stage, over 24 feet. I think the automated forecast is not good, especially with more rain incoming there. Let me back out of that one. We go, let me see if I can find Hazard, because Hazard was, there we go. Hazard downtown is seeing some of the worst flooding I've ever seen with my own eyes. Right now it's at 30.8 feet. Steve Hensley from WYMT said that is going to make this either the 6th or the 7th highest crest of the North Fork of the Kentucky at Hazard. This is the worst flooding in downtown Hazard I can remember. We've got major flooding likely heading towards the Cumberland at Williamsburg. Right now it's just under 25 feet. Forecast to get up close to 32 feet tomorrow morning. That is not good. That's going to cause some major flood issues down in Williamsburg. Barberville, running high there. We're going to be just shy of a major flood in Barberville. Looks like it's going to crest just shy of 37 feet. The Cumberland River there in Barberville. So, locally here in eastern Kentucky, several of our rivers are already in flood stage, or are forecast to go into major flood stage. And we got all that off to our west. So how this is going to play out through the overnight. Let's take a look. Whoop, let me get off that. How this is going to play out through the overnight. I'm going to put the future radar into motion. This is about 3 o'clock East Coast time. Heavy rain from Lexington up to Maysville, Danville, Stanford, back west towards Russell Springs, Monticello. That line will slowly push eastward. Should be here in London around 4 or 5 in the morning. Moorhead, about the same time. Corbin, you're probably looking at 5 to 6 in the morning. Same for Williamsburg. Harlan, probably about 7 in the morning for y'all. This thing looks like it's going to try to pick up a little bit of speed, or at least that's what the HRRR model is saying. And then as the cold air comes in, sometime tomorrow morning we'll change that over to snow, and then we'll see more snow showers develop tomorrow evening. We'll talk about the snow later. I'm more concerned about the rain. even if we get just a half inch or so, and I'm honest, I'm going to be way too blunt here, folks. I think the HRRR is going to underdo the rain with that squall line. Just judging by the radar trends I'm seeing right now. Let me punch that back up so you can see it. There is a lot more rain behind that squall line than what the models are seeing. So that indicates to me that there is going to be at least the potential of more rain than what that model is indicating. Just to give you an idea of how much rain this system is dropping as that initial squall line comes in. It hit Bowling Green within the last hour or so, and I'm pulling up Bowling Green's precipitation for the last hour. Let me take that back. Since 10 o'clock Central Time, at 10 o'clock Central Time, the mesonet site in Warren County was sitting at 3.59 inches. As of 5 minutes ago, it was at 4.29, so it dropped 7/10 of an inch in about an hour and a half. And it's still got several hours to go. Josie, I absolutely agree with you. I have not seen a flooding event like this where it's been so widespread, and so prolonged. Usually, like when you think back to the summer of 22 flood, yes, it covered a large area, but it was very intense for a short period of time. I've not seen this big of a geographic area with this much rain over a prolonged period of time. So this has been a really unusual flooding event for us here in Kentucky. Crystal, thanks for checking in. Just under 3 inches. That tracks with about what I've had here just south of London. I can tell you the water in our neighborhood got not the highest I've ever seen it, but it was pretty high, although we had standing water in my front yard for the first time ever. We've been living in this house almost 8 years. It'll be 8 years in May, and I've never seen standing water like that. And then our back creek got up probably about a good 5 or 6 feet out of its banks into our backyard. I've seen it higher. It was higher last summer. Brandon and Tina Miller checking in with us. Wind pretty strong. Yeah, we're seeing some gusts out there. 20, 30, 40 miles per hour. That's going to be common tonight. And I am a little bit concerned about the power outage situation tonight, especially in eastern Kentucky, just where we've seen so much rain. Let me pull that up real quick. Let's see if I can get this to show up okay. Yeah, that's not bad. That'll work for now. So we're seeing 800 customers without power, Breathitt County, about 630 in Clay County, 745 in Leslie County. That's pretty substantial because that's a large chunk of Leslie County. 530 Knott County, just shy of 700 Perry, 650 Letcher, almost 800 Harlan, over 2,000 in Pike County. So I suspect those power outages will go up. Due to the winds, we're going to see a lot of trees coming down because the ground is so saturated. The roots just have nothing to hold on to. We are going to see more rock slides and landslides, especially as that next round of rain kicks in. Um, and we are going to see more flooding. This is going to be um, a dangerous night, and I don't use those words lightly. I know words matter. I definitely don't want to scare anyone. But this is, if there was ever a night to be weather aware in eastern Kentucky, tonight is that night. We are already past what we can handle with the amount of water we've seen. And with another inch or two, I know an inch or two doesn't seem like a lot, especially when it took 11 inches 2 years ago to cause the catastrophic flooding we saw back then. But this is a different setup. We're already past the breaking point. Anything we drop is just going to run straight off. And we may see an additional inch or two. I'm going to pull up another Mesonet site while we look at the radar, just to have an idea of what's going on with this precipitation. I can tell you, I'm looking at some of the last 24-hour precip totals over in western Kentucky. Some places have seen 6 inches. The one out in Marshall County has seen just over. It's been 6.1, 6 and a tenth of an inch in the last 24 hours. I want to pull up the precipitation for it. And it dropped I'm going to take that all the way back. At 8 o'clock, they had 4.81 inches of rain. 5 minutes later, they had 5.03. So it dropped 2/10 of an inch of rain in 5 minutes. That's insane, first of all. But for between 8 o'clock, which was 4.81, and now they're sitting at 6.10. 1 inch and a third ish. My math is right. It's a little late, and I have not had enough caffeine, but you guys know the idea. That's a lot of rain in a short amount of time. 1 inch of rain over 1 square mile is 17 million gallons of water and some change. And this is a large area where all that water is going to be falling. It's not isolated. So everything's going to run off, and when that gets into eastern Kentucky and it falls out all over those mountains, it's going to rush the hollers. I don't say that to scare. I say that to prepare. If you live anywhere in a lower elevation east of I-75 tonight, sleep with one eye open, or have somebody stay up and keep an eye on the creeks and the streams. It's going to be a interesting night. If you have any reports, please pass those along. You can hit me up on X. Smith Weather is a great way to get those to me. I'll forward those on to the National Weather Service office in Jackson if you're in eastern Kentucky. Let me know what you guys want to know about with this storm. Feel free to ask questions. Be happy to answer those. We are continuing to track heavy rain in central Kentucky, extending from Maysville down to Flemingsburg, Cynthiana, Paris. You're picking up on moderate to heavy rain right now. The Lexington Metro is seeing heavy rain right now. Campbellsville and Glasgow, you're seeing heavy rain right now. And we're just here in southeast Kentucky, we're just waiting for it to get here. And we're hoping it picks up a little speed and then moves out quick and it doesn't stick around long. because we do not need much more rain. I'm seeing a ton of new reports locally, which is good, although it is quiet right now. That Western Kentucky is seeing some torrential heavy rain. Have seen reports of flooding near downtown Moorhead. We're continuing to watch the flooding in downtown Hazard. And oh, let me zoom that back in. I don't know why that shot out so bad. Also, some severe weather ongoing down into portions of Alabama and southern Tennessee this evening. Thankfully, we're not dealing with severe right now here. Going to switch radar sources real quick. And we are going to pull up some of the individual radar sites around the state and just take a look at each of these storms individually. So here's the Louisville radar, and you can see still a lot of lightning with those storms, and that's concerning. You see those plus signs that are orange and yellow and white from Russell Springs back to Campbellsville down to Tompkinsville. If we're seeing thunder and lightning embedded in these, that means that these storms are on the stronger side. They are thunderstorms. They're not just showers. And when you have thunderstorms with the higher elevated cloud tops, to get the thunder and the lightning, you're also going to get heavier rain. Wow. 5.7 inches in Russellville in the last 24 hours. That's just insane, Crystal. Josie, wind gusts tonight, 30 to 40 miles per hour. Yeah, Brandon and Tina, we don't want to scare anybody. Like that's not what I'm here to do tonight. I'm here to try to prepare y'all, but I do want to strike the right tone tonight. I love the weather. I think the weather is one of the coolest forces in nature, but tonight it is definitely taken a turn to the active side. Austin, thank you for joining in. Let us know how things are going up your way. I heard the flood walls are going up in Pikeville. If anybody knows about the flood walls in Harlan or Barberville, please let me know. I've been monitoring a bunch of the local National Weather Service feeds, talking with them, seeing what's going on. We have seen absolutely prolific rain, and the amount of closed roadways across the state is just. I could sit here for the next hour and probably list off all the roads that are closed. Just locally here in Laurel and points to the east. Logan, yeah, we are up late, and that's because the weather is a little bit more active than we would like this late, and I'm very, very concerned for Eastern Kentucky tonight, folks. And y'all know I was chief meteorologist at WYMT for 3 years. I've filled in there for the last 8 or 9 years since I left full time. Eastern Kentucky means a lot to me, and we all remember what happened 2 years ago. I don't think it'll be that bad as far as just the flash flooding and the widespread nature of it. But this is looking like it's going to be a significant night of flooding across the mountains. and you need to be prepared for it. And you need to have at least two ways to get warnings tonight, preferably a weather radio and something else. If you don't have a weather radio, turn on the TV, put it on a local channel. I'm not going to promote anybody individually, although I'll say watch YMT or KYT just as a shameless plug. Um, but any of the stations are fine. A weather app that'll give you warnings based on your GPS location, and maybe even just turn on the radio, because a regular radio will pick up an EAS broadcast if it's triggered off for your area. I suspect we'll start seeing new flash flood warnings in the Cumberland Valley within the next hour or two. This leading edge of the storm is pushing in towards Somerset and Science Hill with heavy rain in front of it. Crab Orchard, Broadhead, back up to the northwest in Rockcastle County, extending up into Madison County. Richmond, you're just now starting to get on the heavy rain. Winchester, you're seeing heavy rain. There's been heavy rain in Jeffersonville, Mount Sterling, and Owingsville for several hours. Moorhead, you've probably got more flooding heading your way because more heavy rain's moving in. Olive Hill, the leading edge of that storm is through, but you've got more coming. So the old Jackson radar site is going to be busy for about the next 6 to 8 hours, friends, until we can get this mess on out of here. Y'all have questions? Let me know. Brandon says hasn't heard, and Tina have said that haven't heard anything about the floodgates in Barberville. Josie saw that at least one of the floodgates in Harlan was going up. Logan's asking about the storm heading towards London. Okay, well, we've got it pulled up on the radar. So right now, we can cut into that storm, take a look at it. You can see a lot of oranges and reds showing up. That indicates heavy rain. Let's see if I can pull up the 1 hour. See what kind of rainfall rates it's dropping on an hour. Couple of spots, quarter to a half inch per hour, so not too bad just yet, but this is just moving in. We can pop this into see if I can get it switched over to volumetric mode. Take a look at it in 3D. It's not wanting to work right now, but that's okay. But anywhere you got those oranges and reds, that's heavy rain. In fact, you see we've got the flash flood watch, or flash flood warning, excuse me, for Casey, Greene, Hart, Lincoln, Marion, Taylor County, Adair County, Barron County, Allen County, Clinton County, Cumberland County, Edmonson County, Metcalfe County, Monroe County, Russell County, and Warren County. This may be the single biggest flash flood warning I've ever seen. It's got a damage threat considerable tag on it. Weather Service was saying Doppler radar indicated 3 to 4 inches of rain already fallen, with an additional 1 to 1.5 inches of rain possible as the storms move through. So, Logan, to answer your question, that's what that storm is doing right now. So, if that doesn't weaken, we can probably expect the same thing here in London. Probably some heavy rain here in the next couple of hours. Could drop 1 inch to 2 inches, and we saw what a couple inches did earlier in the day, and that's with now more rain falling on top of it. There were some tornado watches back in western Kentucky. I will check and see if those are still active. I had to turn those off the radar because the radar was getting so cluttered with warning polygons and watch polygons. It was insane. But I do think that tornado watch is continuing for at least, I think, another hour unless they've dropped it. I'm going to pop that on real quick on my personal phone and see if I can see that tornado watch is still going. I'm not seeing it. I'm going to check one other thing real quick. I can find out real quick if that's still going. Weather analysis on the fly, folks. Gotta love it. Yeah, tornado watch continues until 2 a.m. Eastern for Casey, Greene, Taylor, Adair, Metcalfe, Clinton, Monroe, Cumberland, and Russell counties in south central Kentucky. So, about another hour on that tornado watch. I do not expect that tornado watch to be extended. I do not anticipate a severe thunderstorm watch coming out behind it, or I should say in front of it, for the rest of the state. I think the severe threat is looking pretty slim at this point. I think the heavy rain is definitely the big concern. Great question. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Please share the stream, like the stream, interact with it. That'll get more people watching. I know it's late, 1 a.m. in the morning, 12:06 Central Time now. For those of y'all, anybody that's just joining us, my name is Meteorologist Shane Smith. I'm a meteorologist with about 15 years experience based out of London, Kentucky, and we are tracking a historic flooding event ongoing across the Bluegrass state right now. We are seeing just absolutely prolific amounts of rain that has fallen. Some portions of the state have seen 6 inches today. And that was on an already saturated ground. Some places in the last 2 weeks have picked up over 9 inches of rain in the state. That is almost 3 months of rain in 2 weeks. So that is some incredible rainfall amounts that have fallen. And it's causing flooding issues all over the state. And I am extremely concerned about Eastern Kentucky tonight. We all know it doesn't take a lot of rain to cause flooding issues in Eastern Kentucky because of the topography. If you haven't been out in far Eastern Kentucky, you have tall mountains, well, tall for Kentucky standards, 2, 3, 4,000 feet, and narrow valleys. It's not like down in Tennessee where you get the wide, sprawling valleys there at the foothill of the Smokies. Gorgeous country, love it. That's beautiful. Our valleys are much more narrow, so all that rain falls and rushes down into those narrow valleys, and it comes up quickly. Totals for London today and over the last few weeks. Excellent question, Josie. Let me see what I can find on that. I know several of the radar estimates I've looked at showed around 3 inches today. Observed at the airport, and this was confirmed as of about 30 minutes ago, 12:31. The National Weather Service sent out yesterday's climate report. 3.2 inches of rain in London at the airport yesterday. That is a new record for February 15th. The previous record was 2 inches set back in 2016. That brings our month-to-date total, so 2 weeks, 6.57 inches in London. So a normal month of rain around here is about 3 to 4 inches, depending on the month. So we've seen almost 2 inches of rain in the last 2 weeks, with almost half of that falling today or yesterday. Time, man, it's relative. So 6.5 inches of rain officially in London. Crystal, thanks for sharing the information from your personal weather station in South Corbin. 2.94 inches on the day, 7.63 on the month, so in the last 2 weeks. They're off the Falls Highway and Main Street. The flooding in downtown Corbin today was some of the worst I've seen in a long time. I didn't get down to Corbin personally, but I saw a lot of the pictures that were being shared out on social media, and that was just wild. And just saw another local meteorologist pointing out every county in Kentucky has a flood warning right now, all 120 of them. I have never in my 38 years on this planet, and I've been watching the weather, most of them, seen that. Just absolutely prolific amounts of rain falling. We've been going at it now for a little over 30 minutes. There are swiftwater rescues ongoing in the city of Hazard. I'm seeing some posts on social media of that. Seeing reports of Kentucky 1645 being closed due to high water up in Estill County. Ethel, we've been talking about Hazard a bit. The Kentucky River, I was looking at Steve Hensley's Facebook a little while ago. This looks like it's going to be either the 6th or the 7th highest crest of the North Fork in Hazard. I've got friends with businesses in downtown that have flooded tonight, which is crazy. We've seen less rain than the 22 flood, but the flooding downtown in Hazard has been wild. Duck Pond down by Levi Jackson, some of the worst flooding I've seen down there. I saw a lot of the drone footage and the pictures from that, Josie. It was wild, and yeah, that if you live in and around Laurel County, and folks, forgive me if you're not from around here, but this is where I'm based out of. This is where a lot of my viewership is. Ferriston, the Duck Pond, we know it always floods around here, but it's just, we were seeing places in Laurel County that floods that I've never seen flood. Down around the bakery was horrible. There on 4th Street, I saw Main Street got backed up pretty bad at one point there by the McDonald's on North Main in London. A lot of spots out in the county. I saw 552 was closed for a bit because of flooding right around the 4.5 mile marker on it on the way out to Keevee. So just some tremendous flooding across the Bluegrass today. And folks, you'll forgive me if I'm not as coherent as normal. It's just, it's late. 1:15 a.m. is what we're coming up on the East Coast time, and we are tracking heavy rain. This has been a pretty well forecast storm. I got to give the folks at the Weather Prediction Center their kudos. They kind of had that area out in western Kentucky highlighted for the heaviest of the rain, and that's where it's been. And they had most of eastern Kentucky under a moderate risk of excessive rain, and by their criteria, we hit that in that 2 to 3 inch range. We didn't get the heaviest of it, but it was enough to cause issues because the ground is just so saturated. I have not seen just this much swell in the ground from the water being just having nowhere to go. We are beyond saturation at this point. So every single drop of water that's hitting is running off. And that's why we're seeing flooding in places that we've never seen flooding before in Kentucky tonight, is because the water just has nowhere to go. So, what to do through the overnight, folks? Once again, have multiple ways of getting severe weather information. I suspect here in the um, London area. I'll tell you what. I saw we just had a question about time frame when it's going to hit Perry County. A lot of questions about Beattyville and Jackson. Some have been evacuated. Beattyville has been terrible for the flooding, Josie, over the last few years. They've got hit hard a couple of times. I'm gonna pull the. Let me make sure I got this reset. I'm gonna pull the model data back up, and we're gonna take a look at the latest run of the HRRR, the High Resolution Rapid Refresh model, and see how this rain's going to play out. Hey, Aaron, thanks for joining us. If you're just tuning in, we're talking flash flooding overnight here in eastern Kentucky. It's looking like it's going to be a problem again. Not to mention gusty winds going to cause power outages. Even though we're not going to see severe weather in the traditional sense, 30, 40 mile per hour gusts with a saturated ground, those trees are just going to topple over like nothing. Latest HRRR model, and this is the absolute best model for short range forecasting, folks. Showing that line hitting London now. It looks like about 4 a.m. For the heaviest of the action. Moorhead about 5 a.m. Manchester between 4 and 5. Hazard, it's looking like between 5 and 6 for you all. Harlan, Middlesboro, Pineville, probably between 4 and 5 a.m. Harlan between 5 and 6. Pikeville 6 to 7. Prestonsburg 6 to 7. Paintsville probably between 5 and 6 ish. And once again, I don't think the model is doing a good job with the rain on the backside of it. I'm going to show you why real quick. I'm going to pop back up to the live view of Radar Omega. You're going to notice, so I try to find somewhere to click that doesn't have a warning. That is hard. You'll notice there's a lot of lightning on this line of storms as we take a look at the real-time radar from the National Weather Service office in Jackson. You'll notice all those plus signs showing up on my screen. Those are lightning strikes, and that means we've got intense thunderstorms. Thunderstorms are taller. Thunderstorms mean more rain. More rain equals more problems. Diane, thanks for joining us. Why has it gotten so warm right now? So part of, Diane, what's causing the issues tonight is we had a warm front lift through the region this morning. That's what brought us the heavy rain this morning. And we've got a strong southerly wind right now. So it's dragging up all that warm air that's south of us. But behind it, we've got a cold front coming in. That's what's causing the thunderstorms right now just off to our west. As that cold front comes in, our winds are going to shift from the south to the northwest. And when that's going to happen, that's just going to usher in cold air. That difference in the temperature and the pressure is what's causing the strong winds tonight. And that's what's also helping to fuel the thunderstorms that are going to bring us heavy rain. So It's very common this time of year, especially with a stronger low pressure system, and this is a very strong low pressure, to pull that warm air up from the south. It's a phenomenon in the weather world we call warm air advection. That warm air advects or gets pulled up from the south as the southerly wind cranks. So it's just literally like taking warm air down from the Gulf states and just slinging it up into eastern Kentucky. And then as that low moves out, as strong as that air was in front of it, it's going to be just as strong behind it, pulling cold air down from the northwest. Hey, Rose, thanks for tuning in late on this Sunday, early Sunday morning, I guess now. Yeah, definitely not a bad idea to make sure everything is secure. Just saw the National Weather Service over in Jackson has put out a special weather statement for this line of storms approaching Mount Vernon, Stanton, and Irvine for 40 to 45 mile per hour wind gust. So we can zoom in on that. So that's that cell up here near Richmond and Berea right now. Berea, that is some deceivingly heavy rain. Yeah, when you start seeing returns over 60 decibels, that's rainfall rates close to an inch per hour. So that's some pretty gnarly rain falling in southern Madison County right now, and that is going to push east northeast. So Irvine, Stanton, you're definitely in the path of this storm. Thankfully, that new scan just came in and it's not looking as intense. But yeah, anytime you see those purples showing up on the radar, that is some heavy, heavy, heavy rain. And that is not what we want to be seeing. We want light greens. We don't want oranges and reds tonight, friend, because oranges and reds means heavy rain, and heavy rain is going to mean a whole lot of problems tonight. I'm going to kind of reorient the radar real quick. And you'll notice all those flashing green boxes are current flash flood warnings. The solid green boxes are just flood warnings, not flash flood, just regular flood warnings. And every county in the state of Kentucky has some kind of flood warning right now, which is insane. Also, some pretty significant flooding ongoing in Pikeville, especially up near the Walmart. For folks that know the area up around US 23 and 119, that intersection there, that's a pretty populated area around Pikeville. A lot of businesses there. The Leviza Fork is coming up, and it is coming up something awful. So once again, for a time frame for anyone, it is just now moving into Somerset. London, that'll probably put it here probably a little faster want the model showing, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Um, the HRRR was trying to get it in here around 4 o'clock. If it picks up a little speed, I'm not going to complain because we can push it through faster and not see as much total rain. Let me switch radar omega, see if this thing is picking up any kind of forward speed. We're going to go to the wide view, put it into motion. A little weather analysis on the fly. So the thing we're going to be watching here is that band of heavy rain. Where is it? And where is it going, and how fast is it going? I think that data is a little bit behind. Yeah, we're gonna switch that out. Pop up the good old Louisville radar. That should give us what we need. This is one of those times that I miss having the big fancy setup at the TV stations, being able to have multiple radars pulled up at the same time. So I'll put that into here again. So yeah, leading edge around Somerset now. It's London. That probably puts us an hour or two out. Yeah, it's picking up speed. You can see that here. We'll go back like the last 30 frames. That'll take us back to... We'll see how far that takes us back. Should take us back an hour or two. We can kind of track how fast it's moving. So that'll take us back 2 hours. Yeah, Glasgow to Somerset, that's about 70 miles-ish. So it's going east at about 35 miles per hour, so I'll put it in London just before 3 o'clock. Corbin probably right around 3 or just after. I'm going to switch back over to the Jackson radar, just track the leading edge of it. I'm going to take the flood warnings off for a second for the river flooding and just let you see the flash flooding. Yeah, like the entire western half of the state's under flash flood warnings in the entire northern part of the state. And we're going to have new flash flood warnings coming out here in eastern Kentucky within minutes. All right, folks, it's coming up on 1:30. We've been live for almost an hour now, so I'm going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to try to catch a little bit of sleep. I'm going to have my weather radio turned on, my alarms turned on, and if it looks like it starts getting bad, we will jump back on here. And if we don't, I will probably be on tonight talking about the snow that's going to be falling, because yes, we've got some snow in the forecast today. Little light snow, but more importantly, temperatures Monday morning are going to drop into the low 20s. So all this water that's standing out there going to freeze. And then we get another storm Tuesday night into Wednesday and Thursday, which could drop several inches of snow. So Mother Nature just keeps on throwing the punches. So that's it for now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure, if you haven't, hit that follow button on my Meteorologist Shane Smith page. Share this broadcast. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Turn on that notification bell. Let you know when we go live. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next